Well, hello everyone. I'd like to introduce you to a really good friend of mine today. It's Phil. Hi, Phil.
Hi Linda, and hello there. It's good to be able to talk to you today.
Yeah, it's great. Well, I understand that you had an unusual sort of a job. Phil, is it true that you were a shepherd?
Yes, I became a shepherd about 17 years ago, and it's been my joy and our joy as a family to look after sheep and care for sheep during a good period of that time.
Wow. Now, perhaps you'd like to tell us how that all began.
Yes, it all began when we moved here, as I say, about 17 years ago, and we bought four orphan lambs.
Wow.
And with those four orphan lambs, we would feed them in this conservatory here.
Yeah, wow.
And I became very, very attached to them, and they became very dependent on me as their shepherd, as it were. Yes, I was a shepherd and started off with these four orphaned lambs. But I would say, Linda,
Yes.
and all of you out there, that there was one sheep in particular that we grew very, very fond of and was a very, very special sheep to us, and we had a very special relationship with a sheep who we named Smokey.
Smoky. Oh, that's fantastic. Well, shall we go down to the field and see where they used
Yes,
to live?
that would be good.
That's
That would be
lovely.
good.
Come on, Phil. Oh, well, here we are in Phil's absolutely fantastic field, and where all the sheep were and where you cared for the sheep. So,
Yes.
what's it actually like being a shepherd, Phil?
I thoroughly enjoyed it. Although it was hard work, it was a wonderful time. And I especially loved the lambing season when we would have young lambs.
Wow,
And the sheep shed here,
Uh-huh,
that was
yeah.
mainly where they were born. So, yes, it was hard work, but thoroughly enjoyable, Linda.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, I think, did you not say that there was a real special story about that lovely sheep,
Yes,
Smokey?
yes, I
What
must
was
tell
that
you this
about?
story
Yeah.
because as long as I live, I don't think I will ever forget. I will never
Wow.
forget what happened one particular day.
Wonderful.
Just to say to you that during the winter period, we would take the sheep
Mm-hmm.
up to my brother-in-law's farm because he
Yeah.
had many acres of field, plenty of grass for the sheep to eat. But because ours is a small field, we simply had to ship them up there, take them up there, and so they would go there for the winter.
Mm-hmm.
And one particular year in October, we took them up to my brother-in-law's farm, and they would stay there till about February, March time. But in January, I'd been away from the sheep for about 3 months, I suppose. I thought one day I would love to go and see my sheep just to see how they're getting on. So I went along, and just to bear in mind that it had been a very, very rainy winter, and so the field was very, very wet. But anyway, I went to the farm and I got to the gate where the sheep were in the field. I climbed over the gate, and the first thing I noticed was not only a flock of sheep about 100 yards away, but just before me, about 10 yards inside the gate, that area was very, very muddy, and it was a sort of clay sort of patch, and very, very soggy. And of course, I forgot I hadn't got my Wellingtons. I thought, well, I can only just step over the gate. And anyway, I got over the gate, and I saw my sheep with my brother-in-law's sheep, and I guess there were about 40 sheep there. So what I did, I thought, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to call Smokey. So I shouted out as loud as I could, because it was about 100 yards away. I shouted out, "Smokey!" One sheep lifted her head and said, "Bah!" All the rest, they just carried on eating. They took no notice of me whatsoever. But this one sheep, Smokey, "Bah!" And with that, I said, "Come on then, Smokey. Come on, come on." Now remember, this was about 100 yards away. And she then began to walk out from the flock all on her own.
Wow.
And she made her walk to me. And it was a wonderful sight and very moving. And I just kept encouraging her, saying, Smokey, come on, come on, come on, until eventually she got right near me, and she got to this sort of very muddy clay area, and although it was a bit difficult, she just kept coming on and on and on, and eventually, when she got about a couple of yards away, I went down, although it was muddy, I went down just like this, and I said, Smokey, Smokey. And she made her way right up to me and didn't only just get close to me, but she pressed her head right into my chest. Now you may think I'm soppy or what, but I said at that point, it was so moving, I said, Smokey, I love you. You're a great sheep. And you know, she just kept pressing her head into my chest because she simply wanted to be with me. And with Smokey, the lesson is, a shepherd speaks and the sheep know the shepherd's voice and they come to the shepherd.
Fantastic. Oh, Phil, that is so moving. Isn't that wonderful? Smokey came and actually put her head on your chest.
Yes.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you so much, Phil, for
That's all right.
sharing
That's a
that
pleasure.
story with us.